got this lifestyle, that's my boss, bitch, and my wordplay. Hey, when I get mad, turn the Scarface. How when I get mad, turn the Scarface. Yeah, fuck, I'm talking about that. Hey, tell me how it is, tell me how you feel, tell me what it is, tell me what you wanna do. Put sad boy plotting on who? I done seen it all before I came through. Must don't understand, nigga, I'm in the truth, lame ass nigga. But these crackers tryna shoot shit my way. 100 down rides on the highway. Only thing I got in this lifestyle, that's my boss, bitch, and my wordplay. Hey, when I get mad, turn the Scarface. Now when I get mad, turn the Scarface. I'm up in South Beach with this shit, nigga, Miami. Fuck on me, nigga. Tell me how it is, tell me how you feel, tell me what it is. I'm always in the field, always dressed to kill, nigga. What the fuck you talking about? But your pussy boy, but you ain't talking about nothing, but you ain't making noise. You ain't on that shit, that shit thought you was. Who the fuck these niggas thought they was? They don't even know that. Shooting at me and I'm a throwback. I don't look back, that's a throwback. No, I don't look sad, cause I'm on that. Boy, get shot at the top, that's a toe tag. Lame man, cracker don't want the guns on me. But these people wanna know everything. But the booze and the chica. I tell these soft ass boys how to think. When I'm on my grind, let it hate. Yeah, my nutsack on these fuck niggas when I don't give a fuck. What they be hating on, cause I'm up, nigga. What the fuck, nigga? Who the fuck these niggas thought they was? Yeah, all the time a nigga growing. All the time a nigga knowing. Gotta stack it up, keep that bitch flowing. Hey. Tell me how it is, tell me how you feel, tell me what it is. Gotta flip the deal, gotta keep the steel, killer being killed. Nah, nigga, for real, I'm ready for the real. Nigga, ready for the war, nigga. But they crackers tryna shoot shit my way. 100 down rounds on the highway. Only thing I got in this lifestyle, that's my boss, bitch, and my wordplay. Hey, when I get mad, turn the Scarface. Now when I get mad, turn the Scarface. We up here with the scene, nigga, with the Colombians, cutting niggas' heads off and shit. Tell me how it is, tell me how you feel. Always just a kid, shoot 'em up the hill. Gotta keep it still, nah, nigga, for real. Hey, the boy, I think they talking about. Why X out your rank, walking on your sand. On the highway, chasing out the bands. Boy, wanna hate, they don't understand. Boy, wanna hate, soft two cans. Sam, man, nigga. I told you for that nigga don't know it. Yeah, chasing out the one, I love that shit. Cause the thrill of the hunt keep me on my shit. Yeah, the deck on my hip with a stand-up clip. Yeah, motherfucker, we'll kill your ass. We'll motherfucking dissect your ass. Cut a head off, put a body for the buzzers. Matter of fact, fuck them buzzers, nigga. Ain't no head hunters. We got more Hey, call nigga Scarface, nigga. What the fuck you talking about? Yeah.
Go to messed up, no. Bad news, it's to beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Go on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, baby. Run that shit up, Trey.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me a whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too encore. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaselina like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a sock, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like the dark. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Shaw. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harvey. Try to hope it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Throw them boys, we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me a whole cart. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the fart. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the cow, then when you speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Did them niggas bad, got them tied We run up the bands, bitch, like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Tune in, they pray that beat. I read that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb. Yeah, bitch, we whole part. Yeah, know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low. Told that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our car. And I just made it call. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
Hey, Shalom Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. This is ISUPK Killeen Brotherhood class. Go ahead and clap it up. And today we do have a topic. Basically we're gonna be dealing with brotherhood. Pretty much is the not even pretty much. Brotherhood is the foundation. You know what I'm saying, for what the Lord is building. It's the spirit of Christ. You understand? And it's important. I think I'm gonna end up starting off with Matthew 24 when we get into it, but it's important for the times that we're in right now to understand the importance of brotherhood, the importance of having brothers, the way that you deal with your brothers, the way that you speak to your brothers, the way that you treat your brothers, the way that you think about your brother. All of that is essential in being sealed in the forehead. You understand? Having the seal of the Father in your forehead. You know what I mean? Being in order for you to receive power, you're not going to have power without your brother. You understand? And Christ spoke about that, you know what I'm saying, there was going to be days, you know what I'm saying, when deception and lies would increase, and that, you know what I'm saying, the brotherhood of many will wax cold. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into that. But it's important that we, in terms of this school, which is the only school, which is the only truth, that we understand and put in our chest the importance of brotherhood. You understand? It's not a light thing. It's everything. But first, I'm going to go ahead and address any questions, you know what I'm saying, in the chat, you know what I'm saying, and Salakia, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yah Shabakatham to the brothers, and then Shalom, Yahweh Shamar, Alatham Ba Shem Yahweh Shai to the sisters. All right. If y'all have any questions, please put them in the chat. We're going to deal with the questions first. Salakia Trooper, you had a question?
Con on the one con.
Go ahead.
On the book of James, chapter 1, verse 26.
Okay. I mean, go ahead. Let's get to it.
If any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, but deceived his own heart, this man's religion is vain.
Right. Okay. What's your question?
Pretty much just a breakdown on it.
Okay. All right. So read it again.
If any man among you seem to be religious and bridled not his tongue,
right,
but deceived his own heart, this man religion is vain.
What's give me one verse above it.
Verse book of James, chapter 1, verse 25. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty.
Actually, go up about tell me what 2022 say.
But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only.
You know what that means?
What
that mean?
Just not pretty much hearing the word, reading the Bible or whatnot, but actually following the laws. And actually putting it.
Who is James? Who is James describing right now? What kind of people do you think James is describing?
Sad.
Read the scripture again. What are you saying?
For the wrath of man worketh not.
No, read the scripture that you just read again. The water.
22. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only.
Right. So now I don't want you to think about back in James' time, even though in James' time, what I'm asking you to describe was going on, but then you'll try to answer it with like a, to be biblically correct. I don't want you to answer it that way. I want you to think about who is James describing that you would recognize today. Anybody in the chat, if you want to go ahead and post the answer, when it says, read again.
But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only.
So when it says be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, who would you think is people that hear the word?
People that's not in the school?
No. Anybody in the chat? People that hear the word but are not doing it. Who is James describing?
Sinners.
Sinners. How do sinners hear the word? See, you getting too deep. It's right. It's really right there. Who hears the word but doesn't do it? It's actually in the scripture that you asked me to break down.
Oh, people in the Christian church?
There you go. All right. Give them a hand. You know what I'm saying? But that's the correct answer. But what's the question that what's the word that's being used in the scripture that you asked to get broke down?
Religious. So
now I'm gonna ask you again. Who is James describing in that scripture?
Religious people.
Religious people. Now, how is James describing them? Read that verse again, 22.
Verse 22. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only.
And not hearers only, because you said it. You said the Christian church, but the word I was looking for was religious, because people that are religious. How do you identify somebody that's religious in the way that James is describing?
Somebody that'll say something about God, then fire up a cigarette right in your face.
Exactly. That's exactly it. A person that will not just fire up say something about God, but fire up a cigarette, but that means like a pastor that would teach a whole sermon and then be in the parking lot next to his Cadillac and light up a Newport, right? Or you see him down at the bar, you know what I'm saying, and he's hollering at some she walked the streets, and he hollering at her, right? It's somebody that hears what God has to say to make it look like that they're godly, or they're doing the things that God wants. But they hear it, they hear the word, but they're not actually doing the thing that it says. So now people go to church all the time on Sunday, right? They hear they read the Bible, they hear the Bible. The Bible says don't eat pork. The Bible says not to celebrate the feast days, to not celebrate Christmas. You know what I'm saying? It says all this. It says not to celebrate birthdays. It's all in the Bible. But they hear that, but that's not what they do. You understand? So right now, what James is describing to you is how to identify people that appear to be religious. You understand? Because in this society that we live in, religion is something that you appear to be doing. You understand? It's putting on a good show, but it's not what you actually do, right? So James is he's talking to the brothers in the school, and he's like, don't be like the people that you see that are call themselves religious. You understand? So he's giving you what the instruction on how to not be the thing that you see in these Christian churches every Sunday, right? Or Wednesday Bible study, or, you know what I'm saying, Friday praise service or whatever. He's giving you the criteria of how to separate yourself from them. So read again.
Book of James, chapter 1, verse 22. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only.
So the only way to separate yourself from people that hear the word of God and do nothing is to do the thing that God says to do. You understand? Keep reading.
Deceiving your own selves.
Because who are you really deceiving, right? When a person puts on a suit and they go to church, or when a sister, you know what I'm saying, leaves the club from the night before, she got bent over in the bathroom, and then she goes into church, she take a bath, you know what I'm saying? She washed that one night stand off her, and then go into the church and start praising God, and she up in the choir singing. She thinks that she's deceiving the people that's in the church. She even thinks that she's deceiving God. Like, we all sin, we all fall short, but God know my heart. I love the Lord. You just had Tyrone up in your bed the night before. You understand? But you not trying to make him your husband. You know, that's just what you needed for that night. You know what I'm saying? It was a sneaky link. And you up in church on Sunday morning, and you in there praising God and crying and stomping your feet. And then when the pastor talk about how you need to find you a good God-fearing man, you in there screaming to the top of your lungs like, where the God-fearing men at? But you ain't put that requirement on Tyrone when he had you bent over the night before. You understand what I'm saying? Because in your mind, you feel like you're deceiving everybody when everybody knows what you're doing. Everybody knows. The Lord knows. Your neighbors know. But you know who don't know? It's you. You buying into your own bull crap. You understand? You're buying into the lie, and you're only deceiving yourself. Like, don't lie to yourself and make you and put it in your head that you're a God-fearing person when you don't do nothing the Lord say to do. Keep reading.
Verse 23. For if any be a hearer of the word,
right,
and not a doer,
right,
he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass.
So now James is describing a person that hears God's words, that hears the men of God, the men of the Lord, the prophets of God, and they don't do it. He says it's like a man that go into the mirror. Remember Michael Jackson had that song, The Man in the Mirror, right? It's like a man who goes and looks in the mirror. Keep reading.
Verse 24, for he beholdeth himself.
So he looks at himself, right? Now, why is James describing hearing the word of God as a man looking in the mirror? Come on, Ak. I'm asking you the question. You asked the question. What is it? Why is James describing a person hearing the words of God, a Black and Spanker Native Indian hearing the words of God as looking in the mirror? Because when you hear the word of God, it's supposed to show you yourself. That's why. It's supposed to, when you look in the mirror, why are you looking in the mirror? You're looking for what's wrong, not what's right. You understand? You're trying to make sure that your hairline is right, or your hair is done right, your teeth are white, that you ain't got no sleep in your eye, no boogers in your nose. The mirror is supposed to show you the thing that needs to be dealt with or fixed. So when you hear the men of the Lord and you hear the word of God, it's supposed to show you where you're not perfect, where you need to get perfect, or what you need to make right or correct. You understand? So when you look into a mirror, it's showing you. You understand? Not like how you think of yourself in your own head, but the actual reality. You understand? So now he's saying that a man who hears the word of God, right, but doesn't do the word is like a man beholding himself in the mirror. So when he hears the word of God, he can see himself, right? He sees what needs to be corrected. Read.
Verse 24. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way.
Right. So now you come to class. The teachers, the Lord is speaking through the teacher. He's like, you like, man, that's true, man. What he's saying was heavy. You behold yourself, but then you leave. You leave class. And now where do you go? You're going home. You're going home. The teacher of the class, the man of God, you know what I'm saying, unless you putting them on, you know what I'm saying, in your living room on TV, he's not in the apartment with you. He's not in the house with you. You understand? He's not in your condo. So you leave. Keep reading.
And straightway foregoeth with the manner of man be was.
He not forgo it,
he was.
forget it. And straight away. So now, when you in class and you hearing the truth of the Most High, it's like, man, that's true, man. Good night. I need to go ahead and do that. That's real right there. That's the Spirit of the Lord, right? But then as soon as you leave, straightway, you forget what manner of man you were. You forget what the Lord said you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? That sister, you forget how you're supposed to conduct yourself when you leave here. You hear about how you're supposed to operate in kindness, be tenderhearted, compassionate. But then something get on your nerves and you get irritated, and now you ready to go off. Now you forget what manner of sister you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be a daughter of Commander General Yohana. You're supposed to be a son of or a soldier of Commander General Yohana, how to conduct yourself for the Lord. You forget that. Because why? You're not standing before the mirror. You understand? That's what James is saying. Keep reading.
Verse 25. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer.
What does that mean? But so now you got the person that leaves and he forgets. So what is now James is trying to make the distinction between someone that's hearing and doing and someone that is hearing but not doing. So when it says, but he that looketh into the perfect law of liberty, what's that person doing when they leave class? Or when they turn off class? What's that person doing?
More work.
What you mean? Explain.
Studying.
What else?
Following the laws.
No, doing what you doing, asking questions, studying, and then writing the questions down. And then you know what else they doing? They calling for counsel. You understand? And then they going back and they studying some more. And see, the thing is that when you live this thing, not just when you at the school, but when you at home, you know what I'm saying? By calling for counsel, by asking questions, writing your questions down, is you putting it in your chest. You're continuing in that perfect law of liberty. Because see, the Most High then gave us liberty, man. He didn't gave us freedom. Freedom from what? From this society, from our oppressor, from the way that he says we have to live. You know what I'm saying? From his influence, you know what I'm saying? His his social media influence. You understand? The Lord has given us liberty from that. Why? By giving us our own culture, by giving us brotherhood, by giving us a way of life that's superior to our oppressor, because he made us superior to our oppressors and to every other nation on this planet. If you are Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you understand? He gave us the perfect law of liberty, meaning that if we keep this thing, that we're going to live. And that type of life is a life of triumphalism. It's a life of dominance. You understand? We're not subject to anybody or any other power except the Most High, man. Why? Because we rely on each other. We rely on the truth of God. You understand? And if you continue in it and you're not a forgetful hearer, you remember the things that you were taught. Read.
Perfect law of liberty and continue therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work. This man shall be blessed in his deed.
A doer of the work. What's the work? Anybody in the chat? What's the work? He said, but a doer of the work, right? What's the work?
It's like count everything within the school. So like it.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm looking for. I mean, you right. You're not wrong. But what's the work?
Oh man, killing the old man.
Man, give him a hand. That's it. That's exactly correct. Killing the old man. And I want you to read a precept. We're gonna hold that, but give me Romans 12:1, and we're gonna show you what the work is.
The book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren.
Right. Romans is saying Romans is saying, Paul is saying, I beseech you. Beseech means like, it's like I beg you. I beseech you. I beg you, my brothers. Read.
But Salakia, by the mercies of God.
By the mercies of God, because we only have this opportunity that comes from Christ through the mercy of God. So he said, I'm begging you, brothers, by the mercy of God, meaning at this time period that we have to change ourselves, to change our lives. I'm begging you according to the mercies of God. Read.
That ye present your bodies a living sacrifice.
That you present your bodies a what?
Living sacrifice.
A living sacrifice. Because see, that body be talking. You know what I'm saying? When it's 11 p.m. at night and you up watching some Netflix or Tubi, all right? You got that little guy on the ice cream in the freezer, that cake on the counter, and you know you saying, I'm about to lose me 5-10 pounds. Trying to drop this thing, man. But that ice cream be calling you. That body be talking to you, man. You understand? That body be talking to you. You laid up in the bed, you know what I'm saying? Sisters, you ain't got no husband yet. You understand? And, you know, you might want to go in that drawer. You understand? That body be talking to you. I need to man up in this bed with me, or even brothers. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got you a rib yet. And you like, man, I'm about to hit the club and find me one. You know what I'm saying? Find me a little something. Find me my little piece of heaven for tonight. The body talks to you. You didn't put the weed down. And you stressed out and frustrated because you got some bills coming up and you don't know, and you got to tithe and you got to pay your camp funds and you know what I'm saying? You got to do whatever, you know, your obligations is, the electric bill is due, and you stressed out, you know what I'm saying? Because they done shorted you on your check, but you got just enough to buy you a little, you know what I mean, something to roll up, you know what I mean, to ease your stress. Your body start talking to you. So now Christ, he gave his life up for all of us to have an opportunity to come back to the Most High. But Paul is saying, I beg you, brothers, according to the mercy of God, that you would present your bodies as a living sacrifice. And that's what the brother just said, to kill the old man, to kill yourself. Paul said, I die daily. You know what I'm saying? To keep it practical is just you denying yourself. The thing that you want, that you feel like is going to make you feel better, you denying that, man. And you sacrificing. You ain't got to you're not getting drug out and beat with a whip and the flesh getting ripped out your back and nailed to a tree. And you innocent. You understand? The Lord is asking you to deny your flesh, to say no. That's what he's asking. When you want to go spend this bread on something else, when you know that the school needs it to do the work of the Lord, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and sacrifice. I'm gonna put what I want to the side for something that's greater than me, for something that's bigger than me. Yeah, I could stay home and just be on the couch and, you know, but I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna come to class. You know what I'm saying? I could just chill and do my own thing, but I'm gonna get up and do this work that I gave an oath to do. You understand? To present your bodies as a living sacrifice, man. Read.
Holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service.
Now see, read that last part again. You said holy and what?
Acceptable unto God.
Right, holy and acceptable. Because your sacrifice got to be holy. It got to be something that's separate. It can't be what everybody else doing. It can't be what the Christian church is doing. Just showing up on the feast days. We don't nobody ever see you in, you know what I mean, when it's time to do the food and clothing drives. You understand? When it's time to clean up the school, right? When it's time to make food for brothers for class, to chop up some bell peppers and onions, we don't see you. But on them feast days, you show up, you know, and you make sure you in the photo. Now, if we staying on topic, Trooper, what are they doing? They hearing the word, right? But they not doers of the work. So what are they doing?
Being religious.
They being religious, man. And in being religious, what are they really doing? Staying on topic. What we just read. Anybody in the chat, I'll help you out. They deceiving their own selves. They got a Facebook filled with all these photos of them at all the feast days. They got the head wrap. They got the mitre on, the war scarf. You know what I'm saying? They got the garment. And they feel like they in it. You understand? But they only deceiving themselves. Hold on. I want you to pull up. I want to show you something real quick. Okay. Let me get this real fast. Read it. I want you to read this. Because see, a lot of times people think that men run this organization. That's why a lot of these fake Israelites, you know. Hold on, let me see real quick. Salaki, y'all. A lot of these fake Israelites, they feel like they have the room to go against Commander General Yohana. Because they feel like this is their truth. They feel like this is open to anybody. This is that you could do this anyway. Worship how you want to worship. Serve God how you see fit. Like the Christian church. Give me Matthew 22, 11 and 14. We still gonna go to Romans 12 and then go back to James. And I'm going to finish your question, man. Salakia. But I want to let you know that you might feel like you dressing the part, that you doing the part. But the Lord, he got eyes that are 10,000 times more brighter than the sun. You know what I'm saying? You might have deceived yourself. You may have even deceived a few of the brothers and sisters, but you're not deceiving the Lord. You got that, Art?
Come on, book of Matthew chapter.
Start at verse 11. I want to say 11. What'd that say?
Matthew chapter 22, verse 11. And when the king came into
now read like 3 verses above that.
Book of Matthew chapter 22, verse 8. Then said he to his servants, the wedding is ready.
The wedding is ready. What is the wedding? The wedding is Christ coming back to be seated on the throne of David, to receive his kingdom, and to those that were faithful, to the wives that waited on the Lord and were faithful. You understand? Him giving them a place in the kingdom. Those virgins, which is the brothers in the truth that held on to this truth and remained virgins. They didn't get involved with any other philosophy or religion. You understand? They didn't fall under the pressure and get seduced by a serpent, by our oppressor, and believing on Cesare Borgia. You understand? The wedding is ready for the Lord, for Christ to get what belongs to him, man. And then to honor those that stood stiffly with him. The Most High's like, the wedding is ready. It's time. You understand? Go ahead.
The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy.
Listen, but those that were called were not worthy, meaning that they came in and gave an oath. They came into the school, but they weren't worthy because they didn't take it seriously. They took it as like it was optional. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people, you don't want to treat, the truth is our first wife. You don't want to treat her like she's replaceable. You understand? You don't want to deal with her like she's replaceable. Sisters, you don't want to deal with if you got a husband in the truth, you don't want to deal with him like he's replaceable. You got you got to think, if the population of the earth is like 7 billion, what's 144,000? What's the percentage of that? I don't know if there's any brothers watching. Run that calculation and put it in the chat for a brother. You know what I'm saying? Show me some brotherhood in brotherhood class. What's the percentage of that? You don't want to treat the truth, this truth that we have, what compares to it? This is why the Lord was like, who do you compare me with? Who do you make me equal to? Allah, a dumb rock, Buddha, some fat Moabite that ain't got no self-control over what he put in his mouth, but he gonna tell you the path to nirvana, the path to enlightenment. What, Alex the Crowley, do as thou wilt? Some secret Illuminati knowledge? Who do you compare me with? Some tarot card reader? Astrology? Reading I'm a Leo, I'm a Taurus. I'm in Gemini moon. Mercury retrograde. Who do you compare me with? The creator of heaven and earth. Those that was called, that was bidden to the wedding, they wasn't worthy. Because if you were worthy, you will be viewing this thing like you hit the lottery ticket. Like you was digging in your backyard and you found a rock of gold or some precious stone. Listen, man, if you was wise, then whatever it took to dig that precious stone or that gold about your backyard or that lottery ticket, you would hide that mug and not tell nobody. Because why? You found something of great treasure, of great value. And that's why the scriptures say that, you know what I'm saying, where a man's treasure is, there will his heart be also. But we know wherever what you value, that's where your mind's going to be at. But you have to ask yourself, where is your mind at? What do you think about the majority of the day? Do you think about Christ getting his seat and his throne? Do you think about this nation being brought back together and being given back its culture for us to gain our king back? For the Most High to send our king back to take this planet back and for us to get back what belongs to us? Or are you thinking about, how your husband got you upset because he left without, changing some of the baby's diapers or didn't wash the dishes after you cooked? Or are you mad because, your wife didn't offer to rub your feet when you got back from camp and took your boots off or didn't have no dinner made? Or are you thinking about what you about to catch on the next Netflix series? Or you got to hop on the game? All right. Or you got to watch the latest Twitch streamer or something. What's on your mind? Or what's the latest drama on Love and Hip Hop? What are you thinking about? For where your treasure is, there will your mind be also. The thing that you value. And he's saying that the ones that was called to the wedding, they weren't worthy. Read.
Verse 9. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. Verse 10.
Well, hold on. We say that all the time. We say to the Christians, if Christianity is the truth of God, there's over like 4 billion Christians on planet Earth. How come the Lord ain't sent Christ back if what they have is the truth? Right? So then why are we going to camp every Saturday? Because why? We need more people, more men, more bodies. Because if what we have was enough, Christ would be here. If the people that were in the school were worthy and were fit, then Christ would be here. That indictment is not just on the Christian church, it's on us. Because everybody don't care about this like others. Everybody's zeal is not the same, and we know that to be true. Why? Because that's why Christ gave in Matthew 25, he gave the parable of the 10 virgins. 5 were wise and 5 were foolish. And all that really means is when you break it down is you had 5 that were zealous, like I'm going to get this thing done. My Lord asked me to do this, and I'm not going to sit on my behind and wait. I'm not going to sit there and wait. He asked me to get this done, I'm going to get it done. And not only am I going to get it done, I'm going to do 2 times as much as what he asked me. I'm going to do over and above what he asked me to do. But then you got the foolish. They just sit back and, I got my lamp. I poured oil in it, but my oil ran out. Oh, they got excuses. They're not zealous about their Lord's will. It's just, hey, this is what happened. I couldn't make it happen. Okay. All right. No sweat. The scriptures say to make your election sure. It's not guaranteed because you in the school that you got a seat. None of us do. And if you don't have the mindset to go after this thing with all seriousness and continuing and not being a forgetful here, how can you endure to the end? Keep reading.
Verse 10. So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found,
Right.
both bad and good.
Both what?
Bad and good.
Bad and good. That's when we go to camp, we speaking to everybody. Everybody. Keep reading.
And the weddings was furnished with guests.
Everything was ready. When you come to the Passover, well, it's filled with guests. Everything's ready. It's all prepared. It's all prepared on your behalf. You understand? This truth has been established since 1969. There's nothing that you need to come up in here in terms of the doctrine and the protocols and the structure and the understanding that is not already prepared and set up. The Lord established his ways from everlasting, from the beginning. This is the same school that Samuel was over. This is the same school that Elijah was over, that Christ was over, that Peter was over, that Paul was over. It's the same school. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment.
Listen, he came into the feast, and then he saw a man who didn't have on a wedding garment. So the king is the Lord. That's the Most High. Now, all the guests are in there, but don't nobody else recognize that this brother ain't dressed appropriately. He's not what that clothing is righteousness, man. You see that later on in Revelations. It says the clean linen is the righteousness of the saints. He wasn't dressed appropriately. Keep reading.
Verse 12. And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment?
Right. He said, friend. He came respectfully with brotherhood. Hey, friend, how did you come into this situation? Read it again. You came in hither and what?
Hither not having a wedding garment.
Right. Meaning that how did you got invited? How did you come here and you weren't dressed appropriately? Meaning that how did you come into this school, into this brotherhood, into this understanding of the truth and not take it seriously? Right? You didn't read the room. You know why? Because he had been to other weddings that didn't have a requirement. He had been going to the Christian church. And, you know, when you've been educated in the Christian church, when you've been educated in the household where, you know, what goes on in here stays in here, right? We live one way in the house, but when we outside, we act like we this. When you've been educated in that type of a spirit, then you don't take things seriously. You don't, you know, this is like a club or a fraternity to you. You know what I mean? It's a place just to get together and, you know, we dress up and we eat food and we hang out, you know, and we say we follow God. No, that's not what this is. Outside of these walls, that might be what it is. That's not what it is in here. This is the Lord's house. The Lord watches over this. The angels are watching over this and giving their reports back to the Most High. And judgments are being sent down. You can't come up in here and play. And I really want to emphasize that. And the more that you hear the word, the more you make yourself liable. You increase your liability. You may be a hearer of the word and not a doer, but you're deceiving your own self if you think that there's not going to be a, you know, evil created for you not taking heed. Keep reading.
Verse 13. Salagia. How came it thou hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless.
He was what?
Speechless.
Because he didn't know what to say. He didn't know how to, he didn't have an answer. He was speechless. And then now, what did the king do? Did he say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and bring you a garment? I'm going to bring you something to wear? What did he say?
Verse 13. Then said the king, the servant, bind him hand.
The king spoke to his servants. He spoke to the ones that knew what was going on, that was available and ready to do the will of their Lord, of their king. He spoke to his servants. Just because you in the house don't make you a servant. I want to make that clear. Just because you in the house doesn't make you a servant. A servant follows orders. A servant receives counsel. A servant doesn't play about the orders that come down. He spoke to his servants. Read.
Verse 13, then said the king to the servants, bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness.
All that means is, man, is that they hemmed him up, and outer darkness just means that think about it like back in the day they didn't have electricity, so they had like the men that would hold like the sticks with the torches to light the hallways, and they would have torches and lights, lanterns all through the. You know what I'm saying? If a person was having a wedding feast, he had enough money to fund for oil and lighting, and so you could see. Because in those times, if it was dark out, all you had was the moonlight. You understand? So this is like in ancient days. So when he said cast into outer darkness, means that he got kicked out of the feast. He was in darkness. He wasn't where the light was. When you're somewhere where the light is, you can see where you're going. You can see what's in front of you. But life outside of this school, life outside of the ISUPK, you can't see a foot in front of you. You don't know what's happening. And the only light you have is your own light, which is a light that's going to lead you to darkness. You understand? But it means being put out of the school, put out of the protection and the counsel of the Most High, which comes through the men of the Lord. So you gotta be dressed appropriately. And the only way that you could be dressed appropriately is if you're doing the thing that it says in Romans 12:1, which is presenting yourself as a living sacrifice. Go ahead and finish that Romans 12:1, and we'll finish your scripture in James.
Come. Book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice,
right,
holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Verse 2.
No, that's it. It's your reasonable service. That's like when they say reasonable service, that mean like that's like the least you could do. That's the least thing you could do. You understand? Now go back to James. This is a person that's not, religious, but they're sincere. You understand? They're sincere about what they've been called and bidden to. Go ahead. I think you was at 25, 1 and 25.
Kana, book of James, chapter 1, verse 25. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein,
right?
He being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed.
Right. So basically, if you take the truth seriously, and you watching class, you taking down notes, you asking for counsel, you asking questions, you understand? Before you make a decision, you calling for counsel. You know what I'm saying? Or you heard something in class, and you saw the way to apply it on your job. You know what I'm saying? At your slave, dealing with the oppressor, dealing with your woman, dealing with your children, dealing with your husband. Right? You'll be blessed in your works, in the thing that you do. You'll be blessed. Keep reading.
Verse 26, if any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth, not his tongue be deceived, his own slogging.
Right, a bridle. He said, if any man among you seems to be religious. So this is who James described, the people that say that they hear the word but don't do anything. But they seem to be religious, but he bridleth not his own tongue. Do you know what a bridle is? Go ahead and look it up. Look it up in Google. A bridle. If you know what a bridle is, you can put it in the chat. If you from Texas, you should know what a bridle is. Tennessee. I mean, shoot, they got some of them brothers in Philly. I just seen something where I think it's some state up north where they trying to They need some funding to keep their annual horse parade. You know what I'm saying? What's the definition, Art?
To control, restrain, or guide.
So a bridle is what gets put in a horse's mouth. It's that leather and that bar. You looking at me, Art? It's that thing that go over a horse's face that they put in his mouth, and then it has the reins. So the bridle is what goes over his mouth. Why? Because when you put on the reins, it's directing his mouth, right? So that's going to control the direction in which the horse goes. That's what a bridle is. It's put in the mouth to control the direction of the horse or the oxen or whatever you're riding on, but mainly a horse. So the word bridle means to control. It's a control mechanism. You understand? So what it's saying is, well, let me ask you this question. It says, he that seems to be religious, if he bridleth not his tongue. Why would it say that? His religion is vain if he bridles not his tongue. What do most people do when they come to the school to tell us that they want to get down with the school or they want to come to class or they interested in the truth? What's the first thing they start doing? Running their mouth. They come. This is what I did when I first came in. I'm just doing a whole bunch of this because I want to talk about my life and all the signs I seen and everything that happened to me, and as if it meant something. Oh, I know they're in the truth. I'm coming to them because I'm in the dark. They have the light, but I'm running my mouth. The people who claim to be religious and they come up to you and they start just running their mouth, it's because their religion is vain. They don't have any self-control because all they do is hear the word. They don't do it. The people that are like the workers and the doers, they usually like the more quiet people. They'll speak when it's their time to speak. If they teach in class or someone's calling off a council or, you at camp, things of that nature. But you don't just see them talking a lot because they're usually looking for work to do. And you can't really work and talk at the same time. You know what I'm saying? If they can't control their tongue, the people you should be, when you meet those pastors, they can talk for hours and hours and hours. And you know why? Because they're not workers. They're talkers. You understand? Hustlers. So if you meet a person and they claim to be religious and they can't control their mouth, right? It's because their religion is vain. They're more about talking than about working. And in the ISUPK, what we're taught is that you're not what you say, right? You're not what you talk about or what you say. You're what you do. That's who you are. Not what you talk or what you say, but what you do. That's the barometer or the how we measure things in the ISUPK, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yohana. You're measured not necessarily by your words, but mainly by your actions. Keep reading.
Verse 26. If any man among you seem to be religious and bridle not his tongue, but deceive his own heart.
Right, deceive his own mind. What's the first rule for a student or a trooper? Really, for a trooper, what's the first rule?
To not teach.
To not teach. To basically be quiet. You understand? To be quiet. And that's also a rule for not that sisters can't speak. Of course they can speak. Troopers can speak. They definitely ask questions. But what it's saying, the spirit of it is this, is that you're not coming in to tell us what you know. You're coming in to learn what we know. Because we had to come in here and be quiet and hear, and then not just hear, but learn to do. To hear and then to do. It didn't say to hear and to speak. That's what these fake Israelite groups do. They watch our classes. They watch us at camp. They hear what we say. They don't do or show any brotherhood, right? Fake Israelite groups always have a breakdown for everything except brotherhood. They don't learn brotherhood, but they hear our breakdowns at camp. Then they go and try to start their own group and then teach that thing. They hear and they go speak. And then you got some great speakers. You understand? Glorilla Shebrew, whose wife was pegging him, who was getting a strap on and putting in his behind. He was a great speaker. He came from a group of that was a break-off group, a bunch of rebels and renegades, and he broke off from them. He heard what they had to say, and then he heard the so-called history of One West, and he didn't do and go to the original school and to Command General Yohana to become a faithful and loyal son. He just heard what his group said, and then said, I'm gonna start my own group and start speaking. And how do we know this? Because he talked a good game. He put a lot of brothers, through the ringer on trial. Brothers who he felt like he was superior to, that were teaching the truth before he was even born. That's a lot of these fake Israelite groups are sons without fathers. And you can always tell a son who doesn't have a father. He's very emotional. He talks a lot because his mama talks a lot. Because that's what women do. They talk a lot. They get in the kitchen, they cooking, and they just start to going, right? But when a son is raised by a father, the father don't want to hear what the son got to say. Because what could the son say that the father want to hear? Nothing. What the father want to hear is his con on one con, or sir, yes, sir. And then the father's going to put him to work. Because the father wants to instill in the son that you have a responsibility, that you have to be available and reliable. And it's going to be difficult. You're going to have to get up and do this when there's nobody else to do it. So the father lays burdens on his son. So he don't want to hear what his son got to say. He want to see what his son is going to do. And a lot of these groups out here, they're raising themselves. It was children raising children. You know what I mean? And that's the danger, because that's when a lot of, it doesn't provide safety for those that come up under their, who come up under their influence. It doesn't provide them safety and protection. It leaves them exposed and vulnerable. But in the ISUPK, when you're given a title or rank or a name, it's coming with an oath, because you're going to be held accountable for what you do and what you don't do. All right. Go ahead and finish reading.
But deceiveth his own heart. This man's religion is vain.
Man's religion is vain. It's vain. It's worthless. We see right now that what Glorilla Shebrew had with Shakari, and you know what I'm saying, and with all because he had a name, he had notoriety, he was definitely receiving tithes because his wife was taking that money and buying pegging kits. He had every fitted hat that you could think of for every sports team, and those little gay, Amalekite Jewish, what they want to call zeets. All right. But all he did was hear and not do. He thought that he was what he said he was. But we found out that he was what he did when nobody was watching. And that's what the Lord will do. That's why he says, don't lift yourself up and you really a wicked man. The Lord will cast you down before the congregation and expose your wickedness. He'll let it be known to everybody. Don't play with the Lord. Don't come up in here and you're not dressed appropriately. He called himself the chief high priest. And he had no brotherhood. He had no brotherhood whatsoever. He didn't care about everybody that was sending money into his organization and relying on him to guide them to God. He don't care, because in the video when he was getting interviewed, he said he's on a mission from the Hoovers and, God and Gumby to get the Hoovers in the door. He was getting interviewed and he said, the people that feel like I failed them, he's like, they're foolish because I'm a man. They should never put their trust in me in the first place. What? But you want to battle commanding general Johanna? And for you suckers that still, you dismiss what he did, and you still want to come at the school and you just want to argue with us? No sweat. It's no sweat. But your religion is vain. It's vain. You're not what you say, you what you do. Read the rest of that.
Kind of con. Verse 27. Pure religion and undefiled before God.
Pure religion, right? Religion really is just what you do repetitively. It's the thing that you do like repetitively. You could be religious about going to the gym. You could be religious about watching soap operas. You could be religious about, watching Love and Hip Hop, or religious about watching Netflix, or religious about, taking your wife on dates. You know what I'm saying? You could be religious about anything. It's something that you do repetitively and consistently. You make time for this thing, right? So what James is saying, pure religion, right, and undefiled before the Most High is what?
Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction.
It means to go to the projects. It means to go to the communities that are downtrodden, to our people that are suffering in the barrios, in the reservations. You know what I'm saying? In the ghettos, in the hoods, man. To go to them, to the fatherless, to the widows, to those that don't have protection, that don't have husbands, to go to them, to visit them. Because why? Those fatherless, they need fathers. And the Lord needs what? His sons. To these juvenile detention centers. You understand? To go up in there and to provide them light. A lot of the youth don't respect the generation that came before them, is because why? They saw them Negroes up in their house knocking their mama's back out and treating her like, they wasn't there to help build a house. They was there to break their mama's back, and that's it, and get out the door. So why would you respect what he got? Hey, little homie, let me go ahead and put you on game. It's crazy too. I just seen a scene of that. I saw a scene of that. There was a scene. Y'all know if y'all familiar with this show. It's called The Wire, and it's about the drug game in Baltimore and the brothers that was involved in the drug trade in Baltimore, and then the police and how everything played out or whatever, right? And there was this scene where there was this particular character. He was he worked for Avon Barksdale, who was like he was running the west side of Baltimore as far as the drug trade. Him, Stringer Bell, these different characters. But this particular brother, he was a shooter, and he had served time, and he got out, and Avon wanted him to get back right into the game, and because he was having a war with these other dudes in the west side, this dude named Marlowe, and he was losing men. And he knew that this dude was a mature, certified shooter. So he tried to bring him back into the game. And then, one day the dude just realized, like, he's like, this ain't in me no more, right? So he went to Avon, was like, I can't do this no more, man. You know what I'm saying? And Avon, because of how much work he put in for him, he ain't make him feel bad about it. He just was like, you still a man, what you need? And he was like, I want to start a boxing gym and help the youth. And he gave him like $15,000 to start a boxing gym. So he started trying to get the brothers that was on the corners and bring them to the gym to learn how to box, to give them an alternative to that life, right? That's all there was in Baltimore at the time, is if you wasn't selling, crack, you didn't really have no means of income, all right? So he got a couple of brothers to go up in there. And this one particular brother, I can't remember the brother's name, is a young brother. He went to the gym. And then he stopped going. And then so the next scene I see is when he coming to look for the brother. And he see him on the corner. And dude is like, hey, I know he ain't coming to get no crack, right? Because it's the owner of the gym. He coming. And dude walk off. The boy walk off. He's like, hey man, where you going, man? I can't remember the brother's name, whatever his name was. And he's like, hey man, where you going? He's like, hey man, I've been looking for you all, you know what I mean, in the gym. I ain't seen you in a couple of weeks. What's going on? And then the brother say to him, he was like, nigga, you ain't my father. And he look at him, right? And then the dude say, hey man, look, man, what happened between me and your mother, that ain't got nothing to do with your life. You know what I'm saying? Had I known that would hurt you, I would have never did it. So what that tell you? The brother tells him to come to his gym so he could be a father figure, right? To be a father figure. And then he goes in with his mom and he knocks his mama down. And clearly it didn't work out, right? But how did that son look at that? Bro, you brought me into your gym just so you could knock my mama down? Imagine how he felt, bro. You dig what I'm saying? And there's another scripture in Ecclesiastes where it talks about if you want to be called a son of the highest, is be a father to the fatherless and a husband to the widows, but meaning like, but you don't sleep with them. You provide them everything that they need without crossing that line. Because if a young man sees that, he's like, man, you just like everybody else. How many dudes you think that brother saw his mama come in that house and lay with? And now you a brother trying to come and teach me something, and I see you knocking my mama down, and then you don't even stay with her? Nah. That's why he says pure religion. You know what I'm saying? That's undefiled before the Most High and the Father, man. Well, the Most High is the Father, Salakia. I don't know why it's worded like that. But you understand? Is to visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction. That's all there is on that?
Come on, come.
All right, we'll cut it there, man. I hope I answered your question. Did you have anything else?
Come.
Go ahead.
I want to know, it ain't no verse, but who killed James?
Who killed James? I think it could have been like a mixture of actually let me look that up. That's something we could probably Google. James was Yahushua's brother. Yeah. That was his brother. You found it? So it says that it says here that James, because it was two James. You had James that was the brother of John. He was beheaded by Herod Agrippa, but he wasn't the brother of Jesus, but he was one of the 12 apostles. All right. But James, the brother of Yahushua, he was killed by the order of the high priest Ananias ben Ananias, and he was stoned to death in 62 AD. So Yahushua's brother James was stoned to death, and then James, the brother of John, he was beheaded by Herod Agrippa. You know what I'm saying? But they both went out, you know what I'm saying, for the Lord in death. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it ain't to say that it can't happen for the, you know, I mean, we haven't seen it really happen outside of Abba Bivens losing his life for the truth, you know what I'm saying, and being killed for the truth. But that's a possibility. You understand? So this, you know what I'm saying, like this ain't the Christian church, man. You know what I'm saying? This, you know, Christ said that people will think that they're doing God a service when they kill you because you speak his words and represent him and stand stiffly for him. So that's why when we say we go to camp, we don't expect to come back. That's a serious thing. That's the work of the Lord, is putting your life on the line. So yeah, sister, when he come home from camp, yeah, you know, it'd be nice if you had a hot plate waiting for him, a bath ran for him, some oils to, you know what I mean, give him a little massage, you know. whatever it is that you would do, you know what I'm saying, that he would like. It'd be nice because he could have lost his life that day. You know, a lot of times, man, we make a lot of things bigger than what they are. We should be cherishing the moments that we have together, you know what I'm saying, in this truth. And I don't just mean between, you know, a rib and her Lord. I'm talking about with the brotherhood, because we don't know how long we're gonna have the opportunity to have this brotherhood with each other. You know what I'm saying? So we should we should be very careful to cherish and value the time that we have to recognize that we in this truth and we in this thing together, because life is precious and we don't value life. So, we treat it like it's like like all this stuff is optional, when, like, everything can change in a moment. The reality that you're in right now can be completely different tomorrow. You wake up today, you upset about traffic, or your check didn't come in, and direct deposit right away. And then you have a little pain in your side. You go to the doctor and they talking about it's a lump there and it don't look good. Now everything you was worried about the day before is not even important to you. You know what I'm saying? A family member that you love and care about, you know what I'm saying? They gone. We got to stop being petty, because we don't understand it and realize it, but we are in a time period right now where things are going to change permanently. And the Lord's in control. We ain't got nothing to worry about. You understand? But it doesn't mean that we're not going to be challenged. If you could, was that your last question? If you can give me Matthew 24. T-Dog, what's going on, man? Hey, shalom to you, T-Dog. That number that's on the, if you can see that number, T-Dog, say that number to your phone, and then either text that number or give a call after class, and let me know also if you want to put in the chat what city and state are you in, and I'll make sure I get you in touch with wherever you located at, where some brothers are located at. You understand? Most certainly. You know what I mean? Matthew 24. Let me go get there with you. It's like, if y'all got any questions in the chat, please feel free. That's already 8:12. Good night. Yeah, man. Christ talked about in these times that we're living in right now, what it was going to look like. You know what I'm saying? Because his disciples wanted to know. All right. Let me see. Now let's just go ahead and go through this, and then Matthew 24:3. Go ahead.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives.
Right. That's what Christ is said, that Christ is going to return. When he returns, he's going to touch his feet, going to touch the Mount of Olives, and it's going to cause an earthquake and split the land. You know what I'm saying? But he's sitting there on the Mount of Olives with his disciples. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us when shall these things be?
Right. They coming to Yahushua, the disciples, his brothers, and they're like, hey, tell us when all this is gonna happen. The last days, the end of this society, the end of our oppressor being in charge. You understand? Of the man that slaughters us and afflicts us. When is he gonna fall? When is all this gonna be over? And the thing that you're telling us about the kingdom of heaven, the rulership of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and us being in power under you, when is this gonna happen? I mean, look, man, the Bible says that all of creation groaneth for the manifestation of the sons of God. Don't you groan? Don't you be like, dang, I wish, and listen, a lot of black folks, they not really done with slavery. They're not done with being oppressed. They just want Trump out of office. That's not how we supposed to see this thing, man. You know what I mean? They feel, if you sitting at home on your couch and you like, man, I just want Trump gone. Who you think is going to replace him? You want Satan to get out of the White House so Lucifer can come in. The only person you should want to see in power is your black king named Christ. That's it. That's it. You shouldn't be satisfied with wanting to go through another 4 years of this madness. I remember being a teenager with the Rodney King trial, and I was in Cali when it happened. It consumed the TV. Every time I would come home from school, usually I'm trying to watch G.I. Joe and Transformers or something like that, or Sanford and Son or whatever was on, right? And nothing was going on with this court case with Judge Ito, 24/7. That's when 24-hour news had became popular. At one time, news wasn't all day long. You couldn't have a all 24/7 news channel. You had news from like maybe 6 to 8, 6 to 9, maybe. When that trial, I mean, I said Judge Ito, that's OJ trial. When the OJ trial happened and the trial with Rodney King, it was 24/7, 24/7. And I remember watching that, being like, man, they should go to jail, and then watching them get declared, not guilty in the riots after that. And then how many deaths have we had since then? Sean Bell, Tamir Rice. What's the brother in Florida? Trayvon Martin. You know what I'm saying? James Byrd, Jasper, Texas, getting drugged by a truck until his head got decapitated by some white boys he was drinking beer with. And you know who we had under all them circumstances? A president of the United States that was governing over the country when all these things took place. And then right now you got a president that's actually sending National Guard troops to black cities with black mayors. No, this is not going to get fixed with Donald Trump getting put out of office. It wouldn't have been fixed if Kamala Harris was in office, if she had gotten elected. The only thing that's going to fix Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian problems and issues is our King Christ sitting on the throne, man. That's it. And if you don't understand that, then you're deceiving yourself. You're a forgetful hearer. If you believe that the next administration, if we just vote this way, we can make a change. No. You're deceiving your own self. Keep reading, Knock.
Con. Salagia. And as he sat upon the Mount of the Olives, the disciples came unto him, saying privately, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
What's going to be the sign of thy coming? Go ahead.
And of the end of the world.
The end of the world doesn't. People think the end of the world means that when the earth is going to be destroyed or everybody's going to die. The end of the world just means the end of our oppressive society and his rulership. When are we going to have to stop looking at our oppressors sitting in the seat of power and somebody in the righteous bear rule? That's what they asking. How long are we going to be under Roman rulership with these Caesars and under this governor Pilate and under Herod, this Edomite, acting like he's an Israelite, like how Netanyahu plays the role like he's an Israelite? You understand? How long we got to suffer this? Ben Shapiro and all these Israeli Zionists robbing us of our culture and our identity, playing the role like they us and ruling over us. Keep reading.
Con, verse 4. And Jesus
say Yahushua.
Salagia. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceives you.
Right. When it comes to the signs of Christ coming back and the end of our oppressive society, you got to take heed that no man deceive you. Go ahead.
Verse 5. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ.
For many are going to come in his name saying that he's Christ. Right? You got a whole bunch of that. Pharaoh, young Pharaoh, Three God, what's the other one? Polite. You know what I'm saying? All these so-called fake black leaders who have no brotherhood, all they care about is themselves and making a name for themselves. That's all they care about. Keep reading.
And shall deceive many.
And are going to deceive many, like Glorilla Shebrew did. This applies to Glorilla Shebrew. He called himself the chief high priest. He called himself the chief high priest, man. He deceived many. Sakari had many followers, just like Nasty Nate, because they think that numbers matter. They think that numbers matter to the Lord, when numbers don't matter to the Lord at all. That's why the Lord punished David for counting Israel. Your numbers don't matter. What you do matters. We're the only nation where our conduct, our morality dictates whether we win the battle or not. Not how many men we have, not how many weapons we have, not the choice of the battlefield. It's our morality. That decides whether or not the Lord gives us victory or not. Keep reading.
Verse 5.
You already read that, Ox. Verse 6.
Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
That's what we got going on right now, World War III. And we've had, and listen, up until this point, how many wars have we had? Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom, the Korean War, the war against terror, the war on drugs, really the war against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Right now, it's the war on Hispanics and illegal immigrants. Not on the Chinese, though. Not on the Africans. Not on the Ukrainians. Shoot, they gave the Afghanis apartments over here. It's not on the Ethiopians or the Eritreans or the Sudanese. It ain't a war on them, but it's a war on Haitians. It's a war on Cubans. You understand? It's a war on our people. But go ahead, read.
See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass.
It gotta happen. It gotta happen. Go ahead.
But the end is not yet.
But it's not over yet, though. Keep going.
For nation shall rise against nation.
Right. That's race against race. Race wars. Go ahead.
And kingdom against kingdom.
And kingdom against kingdom. You've seen that right now. You've seen the obliteration of the Palestinians. Those are not our people. I'm not concerned about it. But I know it's what the Lord wants, because he has to go to war with that land. That land got to be in war until what? His people, his true people, the Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, are in that land. It's going to be warfare. This all has to take place because the Lord is getting everything ready to put us back where we belong. So for us to have peace, the world got to be at war. Go ahead.
Ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes.
Right, famines, meaning that it's going to be droughts and no food on the shelves in the Walmart, the Dollar General, H-E-B, Kroger. You understand? It's going to be famines. Right? Pestilences. What's that, man? That's talking about, like right now, they talking about there's a mosquito spreading out this bacteria virus that, you know what I mean, that kills you. I think Commander Johnny Hanna made a post about some little blister to look for in your kids that's spreading a flesh-eating bacteria virus that's spreading through the kids' schools and stuff. And it starts off as like these little small red blisters. It's pestilences, man. A while ago, it was monkeypox. Now the black plague then came back. Keep reading.
And diverse places.
In diverse places. You had the black plague in Arizona. Now I heard it's in California. In diverse places, in different areas. Go ahead.
Verse 8, all these are the blessings of sorrow.
All these are the beginnings of sorrow. How can a sorrow be a blessing? Yeah. Read again.
All these are the beginning of sorrows.
It's the beginning of the end. Keep reading.
Verse 9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted.
Ain't that what's happening to our Hispanic brothers right now? Being delivered up to be afflicted. ICE, they pouring all this money into these ICE agents. Go ahead.
And shall kill you.
And that's why they sending the National Guard in there. And he's talking about deputizing the actual military. The National Guard is a national defense. It's not for wars over, overseas. It's to defend the borders here. But he's talking about taking actual military units and deputizing them to be able to go on the streets and patrol. And there's actually a law against that. It's called posse comitatus. You know what I mean? To deliver you up, to afflict you, and to kill you. Why? Because you're God's chosen people. Go ahead.
And ye shall be hated of all nations.
Hated of all nations. What does that mean? Hated of all races. They hate us because our family is the family of Yahushua, of Christ, because we're the Israelites. And the UPK, it's UPK versus everybody because we're hated by all. We're hated by all races. Even our own people at times. We got to fight our people to fight for our people. Keep reading.
Verse 10. And he shall make, Shalaki.
Take your time, Mark.
And then shall many be offended.
And then shall many be offended. See, when that level of heat rises, then it's going to separate the wheat from the chaff, man. And I don't even want to get into it because I don't want to scare people. You know what I mean? Because really, the fear is a virus. But it's about to get real. If y'all wasn't paying attention to what General Muhammad had to say about his daughter getting brought in by the FBI, if you didn't take heed to what he was saying, you might want to watch that again. Even what you're texting on your phone, what you're saying in a video, in a class video, they can come and pull you for interrogation and deliver you up to be afflicted. They got. Listen, what they did with those people from Afghanistan and from like overseas in Iraq, with the Patriot Act, where you could be arrested if you're an enemy of the state or enemy of the government, without rendition, meaning that you're not subject to any type of law, civil rights or rights as a U.S. citizen, and just have you locked away doing what? Enhanced interrogation techniques? Because you're saying that this kingdom is going to fall and Christ our King is returning to rule and reign. Many are going to get offended when the pressure begins. That's what's going to shut these fake Israelite groups down. Is when the National Guard is in the streets. We're going to see how many of them are out there with their little T-shirt fringes on. We're going to see how these purple pigs march when it's National Guard in the streets. We'll see. We'll see who's still speaking on behalf of the Lord. When they say that now, if you speak against the president or the United States or speak anything against America, you can now be arrested. We're going to see who has the faith of Christ. Keep reading, Knock.
Verse 10, and they shall be offended and shall betray one another.
They're going to betray one another because now it's getting hot in the kitchen. That's why brotherhood is so important, man. Because we in the days where many are going to get offended. This is those that were called but were not worthy. They were called to the wedding, but they weren't found worthy. Because you know why? They didn't know how to suffer. Because that's what brotherhood is about. It's about suffering for the blood of your brothers, man. It's you suffering for the life and the protection and the safety of somebody besides yourself. You're not securing your family. You're securing somebody else's family. The pain that you go through is not for you. It's not so you could get the big house and have the car and, you know what I mean, and get gifts for your children. It's to make sure that somebody else's children are safe. That's the brotherhood of Yahushua. He suffered for others. He suffered so that we could have an opportunity to get our culture back, to have the protection of our power, our God back. But even with that knowledge, people gonna get offended and they gonna betray each other because they was never rooted and grounded in love, in brotherhood. Read.
Verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise.
Why? Because you know when false prophets rise, when people are divided, that's when the false prophets that's when they get all the ability to get a name. Because why? They thrive in chaos. See, the Lord wants to establish peace, and that's in us gathering ourselves together as a nation not desired. But a false prophet, he don't want everybody to come together. That's why you should know these fake Israelite groups that come against Commander Jonah Yohana, they're false prophets because they thrive on the division. They thrive on the chaos. They don't care about your safety. They want your belief so you can make them safe with what's in your pockets. So they can get their little, mammon together and set up everlasting houses for themselves. Right? Read.
And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many.
That's
Verse
your Christian,
12.
That's your Christian pastors. That's your Muslim imams. That's your Catholic priests. That's your fake Christian Israelite groups. Nasty Nates, Glorilla Shebrew. You understand? Read.
Verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound.
And because iniquity shall abound. Abound means to grow great. It means it's growing in abundance. You know why iniquity is abounding? Because of all these false prophets. They're not teaching the people what's right for them to change their lives. You understand? To come into to conform themselves to the will of God by taking heed to the mouth of the prophets, by following counsel. Iniquity is going to abound because that's what's going to be being promoted by these false prophets, by these false teachers. It's going to abound. It's going to look like what's the point in even doing this work? Ain't nobody changing. Things is getting worse. And guess what's going to happen after that? Read.
The love of many shall wax cold.
Listen, the brotherhood of many is going to grow cold. That's why the Lord said, he said, I'd rather you be cold or hot. But if you lukewarm, I'm going to spit you out my mouth. He's saying because to be in this truth, your zeal got to be hot. Your brotherhood got to be hot. It got to be on fire. You got to be zealed out. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to see the value in your brother. You got to see the value in your sister. You got to see the value that Yahweh in Yahweh's death, man. Yahweh's death was for us to live and to live for each other. That we shouldn't be minding the things that pertain to us, but our minds, we should have the mind of Christ, which is you're mindful of everybody else and what they need and taking care of what they need and helping them. But because iniquity is going to abound, you know what that means? People under a social media influence, because of what they seeing on social media, and they ain't battled their lust, they ain't set themselves up to be a living sacrifice. They brotherhood gonna wax cold because it's gonna be other things that's more important to them, other things they're concerned about. Christ said that when he come back, he gave a parable saying that many gonna be drunken and surfeiting, meaning that they're gonna be caught up in partying and being drunk when he shows up. Like that brother he confronted, he was like, how'd you come to the wedding and you wasn't dressed? Throw him in the outer darkness, meaning you're losing the protection. Because let me tell you, when all this falls apart, you having some land, some acres, and some money, that's not going to help you. You understand? I don't care how many acres you got. I don't care how many. I don't care if you got an underground bunker with 4 years supply of food. That's not going to save you, man. What's going to save blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is us. It's each other. Following these laws and these commandments, man, and having brotherhood, man. That's what you're going to need. All you sisters, you know what I'm saying? I don't need a man. I'm INDEPENDENT. Okay. You're going to want that brotherhood. You're going to want the protection of a righteous man. A man that don't want to take your body so you can get a carton of eggs. But if you want that protection and that safety, you better come into the school now. You better come in while the doors are open, while there's a number on the screen for you to call. You better take advantage of the opportunity. I beseech you by the mercies of God. Keep reading.
Verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
Meaning that he that maintains the brotherhood and the love for the brothers and the love of Christ amongst his brothers and doing this work in the midst of all this, the rumors of wars, the nations rising against nations, kingdoms against kingdoms, false prophets, iniquity abounding, and still holds on to this truth, he's going to be spared. Keep reading.
Verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations.
It's for a witness unto all nations. It ain't to save all nations. It's for a witness. We told you what was coming. When Christ comes back, Lord allow for those that are qualified and are spared and get crowns on their head, they're going to be the brothers that was telling you what was coming. And he's going to, and the Lord going to crown them before everybody. And you're going to be like, damn, them brothers in the corners, them Power Rangers, they wasn't crazy. In those costumes. You call it cosplay. Okay. But it's going to be preached to the whole world for a witness to all nations. That's what this internet is for. Yeah, they seen us in Japan and China, Indonesia, Philippines. We get calls across the line from all different countries. Nova Scotia, Scotland, Norway, the UK, Trinidad, Haiti, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Canada, for a witness unto all nations. Read.
Verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
And then shall the end come. Then it's all gonna fall. So yeah, it's the beginning of sorrows. We right here in the mix of it right now. But the only thing that's going to preserve us and for those that are serious, for those that are hearers and doers, you know what I'm saying? What's going to enable you to endure unto the end is going to be brotherhood, man. It's going to be brotherhood. Give me Proverbs 17:17.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 17. A friend loveth at all times.
At all times. That's the good times and the hard times, man. You understand? A friend don't let his love grow cold. He don't let his brotherhood get cold. He's ready and available for his brother because he knows that's the foundation. That's what makes up this truth, man. Is brotherhood. Read.
And a brother is born for adversity.
When you come into this school and you're born again, right? You put that old man to death and you become this new person. You're born for the day of adversity. The Lord is gathering us all together because we're a nation not desire, and he knows the adversity that we're going to face. So a brother, right, is born for adversity. What we just read in Matthew 24, where Yahushua was breaking down to the disciples, was going to be the days of adversity. So when you come into the school, that's what you're being bred for and trained for and born for. All right. Let me get Ecclesiastes 4:7.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Then I returned and saw vanity under the sun,
Keep going on.
Salakia. Verse 8, there is none alone, and there is not a second.
Take your time. I can read it again.
There is one alone, and there is not a second.
Meaning that he saw vanity under the sun. This is Solomon, David's son's talking, man. Right? He's a king of Israel. He said, I saw a vanity, something that was worthless under the sun, that there is one that's alone, and he don't have a second. He's doing this by himself. You know what I'm saying? In the UPK, you always got with each, whatever the office is or the department is, you're gonna have a number one and a second. Somebody that if you're doing duties, but you may need somebody to hold you down, right? That's the one and the two. All right. And he's saying, I saw a vanity under the sun where there was one, but he didn't have a second. Read.
A second, yeah, he have neither child nor brother.
Right. He don't have a child, someone to carry on his work, and he don't have brother. So if you ain't got a brother, how can you have brotherhood? You don't have support. Read.
Yet is there no end of all his labor.
Right. All he could do is work. There's no end to his labor. He don't get no rest because he don't have no help. When you got brothers and you got brotherhood, it makes the load and the burden lighter. It's still a work that has to be done. It's still a burden that got to be carried, but it's not as heavy because you got help. These doomsday preppers and, they out here trying to like get stuff all prepared. And I got all this reserved, these guns, ammunition. But the thing that you lack, and that's the most important, is you ain't got no brothers. You don't have brotherhood. Read.
Neither saith he, Salagia, neither is his eyes satisfied with riches.
No, because you know why? He has to go for the riches because he feels like that's going to protect him. He feel like he can get with the money, he can get as much land as he want, as much supplies as he want, as much guns as he want, or he could use the money to buy his way out of situations. But that don't work in these purge environments, the purge. You're going to need brothers. You're going to need brothers that have a morality, that have a code, that believe in the same thing that you believe in. Keep reading. Come on, Art.
Salagia. Neither said he, for whom do I labor and betrayeth, berave my soul of good.
Right. He basically saying, he don't say to himself, who am I doing all this work for? I don't have nobody to share it with. That's what America make you think, that like the pursuit of your individual happiness, that means something. As long as I get what I want, I'm good. But that's not how the Lord built us. Not blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. He don't say to himself, "Who am I doing all this work for? That I don't even get to enjoy myself." What you getting all these riches for, and you don't have a family? You don't have brothers to share it with. What's the point? Let me tell you, one of the greatest feelings for if you're a black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, one of the greatest feelings is to be with your brothers in an army and to go and take a city and spoil the city of all the goods, go to war with your brothers, win that war, take the city, take control of it, take the goods, and then share in the spoils, man, with your brothers, because you accomplished a goal that was bigger than you, and you did it with your brothers, man. That's a great feeling. And I can't wait for that day. I can't wait for that day where I'm under whoever is leading me when Christ come back, and we get the order to go and take cities on behalf of our King, man. And we come back with the spoils to bring to our King. And I did it with my brothers, the ones that I suffered in labor with, the ones that I fished with. Now I can hunt with. Keep reading.
Con. This is also vanity. Ye, it is a sore travail. Verse 9. Two are better than one.
Two is what?
Two are better than one.
That's the point. Two is better than one. Go ahead.
Because they have a good reward for their labor.
Right. If you got a brother with you helping you with the work, y'all get a good reward for your work, for your labor. It's not good for you to go at this thing alone. You need brothers, man. You need brotherhood. Read.
Verse 10. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow.
Right? You don't want to be on some. I done seen movies where it's some, it's always some silly white man. He go off and try to climb some mountain by himself. He fall and break his leg, and now he got to try to survive for 30 days with a broke leg. You know what I mean? To get some help. Now, had he had a brother there with him, what could that brother do? He could help bind up his wound and go get help for him. But he out there all by himself for so long. Why? Because he went to go climb some silly mountain by himself. It's stupid. You shouldn't want to do anything by yourself, alone. Read.
But woe to him that is alone.
Woe means destruction, death. A wolf pack survives because they're in a pack. A pride of lions survives because it's more than one lion. But woe to you if you're alone. Why you want to be an individual light? You don't want to come up on the command of Jonah Yohana. You feel like you could serve God on your own. Woe to you. It's destruction to you. Keep reading.
But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he did not Salaki, for he have not another to help him.
Look, man, before Glorilla Shebrew fell, you know what happened? His brothers left him. His number 2 left him, and his number 3 left him. And then he fell, and he didn't have nobody to pick him up. And that was his judgment, because he didn't have any real brotherhood. He didn't teach brotherhood as a foundation and you know what I mean, and what he was a part of. And you know why? Because he didn't come up under command of Jonah Yohana. He didn't learn, you know what I'm saying, and come up under the Lord's order. He wanted to do his own thing. So he fell, and he just fell. And what they, y'all young folks don't remember, it was a commercial about old folks back in the day. It was for like emergency alert or red alert, something like that. And they call him with an alert and say, I've fallen. I can't get up. You understand? But when you got brothers, you know what I'm saying? They gonna help you, man. They gonna hold you up, man. As long as you willing to not drop your sword and not be weak, they gonna hold you up. And here, keep reading.
Verse 11. Again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat.
Right, them sisters, I know y'all be cold in them beds by yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, you won't get tired of just trying to get a fix. You know what I mean? Of Tony coming through, Antonio coming through at 12 at night, and then leaving in the morning. Yeah, but if it's 2 in the bed, you got some heat. Go ahead.
So like, then they have heat, but how can one be warm alone?
How? Ain't no way. I don't need no man. The Lord say different. The Lord said that it's not good for man to be alone. Psychologically, it's not good for a woman to be alone. A woman was made to be with the man. She wasn't made to be doing her own thing. This is how you know when it says, who changed the truth of God into a lie? This is how you know that many are deceived and they're under the influence of social media and different voices. They don't know the love of God, the brotherhood of the Most High. They don't know it. The brotherhood of the Most High was when he put Adam in the garden to run it and to rule it, he gave him a helpmate, a help like unto himself. And sisters, you got to know that's what, if you Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, you got to know that's what you're built for. You're not built for anything else. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And if one prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him.
Right. So like what that's talking about is like you got all this land and all these weapons and stuff, but if you get rushed, how you going to be able to defend against a group when you by yourself? But if you got somebody there with you, then you got a fighting chance. You got a fighting chance. Go ahead and drop that. Give me Zephaniah 2:1. We're gonna close out.
Come. The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourself together.
Mm-hmm.
Ye gather together, O nation not desired.
Right. You got to understand, you know what I'm saying, by everything that's these events that's going on, you know, a lot of our people, you know what I'm saying, was divided against each other. You had, you know what I'm saying, when brothers was getting shot down unarmed, you had Hispanics saying that, you know, y'all didn't really step up for brothers. And then now when Hispanics is going through this affliction through Donald Trump and his immigration laws, you got black folks saying, well shoot, that's not our problem. And that's foolish, because we're all a nation not desired by the same enemy. The enemy of my enemy, you know what I'm saying? How'd that go? The enemy of my enemy is my brother, Salakia. You understand? But we're not just brothers because we share the same enemy. We brothers because we are family. According to the Bible, we're family. And we have a duty and an obligation to protect family. You understand? And but the way that you recognize who your family is that we're a nation not desired. Go ahead.
Verse 2, before the decree bring forth before the day pass, as the shaft.
What the decree is, before the decree bring forth and the day pass, meaning that the decree is when the Most High gives the order to Christ to come in and wreck it all, and wreck shit. Excuse my language. And the day pass. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that, you know, it's gonna be a dark day when Christ show up. It ain't gonna be a day of happiness. Keep reading.
Before the day pass, as the shaft before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
Right. That's the day of the Lord. That's when Christ comes, and that's judgment day. Gather yourselves together. Basically, get into safety and protection. Keep reading.
Before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. Verse 3. Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth.
Right. So basically, seek the Most High, and you do that by seeking out the men of God. Seek refuge. Seek out the ISUPK, man. You understand? Seek brotherhood. Seek the thing that the Lord established and what He set up before this great and terrible day. Because we here now. We in the beginning of sorrows. So it's time for us to come together. Commander General Yohana gave the order, man, for all camps to come back home. That's an order from Christ. That's an order from the Lord before the great and terrible day of the Lord, man. All right. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close right there. And pass the class over to priest and officer Salakia, Trooper Itazagabar, Salakia.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, a teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. Book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Mashar means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to Treasury Department or teacher, priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Memorial of blowing the trumpets. First day of the 7th month, Sunday, September 21st, 2025. Book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 through 25. Remind Akim and Agwaf to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. This concludes the ISUPK security announcements.
All right, and then with that, I Midram, which means to stand. give a courtesy salute to the Akim, to the brethren, men of Israel. I Majim Shabbat. I Majim, Barak. Yahal Bashim Yah Shah Brakatah. Yajamatah, Sar. Turn, face the sisters, men of Israel. I Majim Shabbat. I Majim, Barak. Yahweh Shemal Latham Bashim Yahweh Shai. Yajamatah. Class dismissed.